Hello. You are on the channel with interesting stories. Make yourself comfortable and we'll begin. My wife and I have been together for the 6th year and life is fine. I have a child and a half. My wife is a very beautiful woman with magnificent figure with long legs, neat small breasts, and velvet delicate skin. I loved her very much. Strongly. And now about the main thing. The wife worked in a private shop. Why am I in the shop? I'll tell you, because the company where there is no friendly and responsible team or can't be called a rotten company from where such conclusions. And I'll tell you how I didn't want to let my wife go to a corporate party. As if I felt something was going to happen. All these preparations of hers in 2 weeks before the corporate event, shopping, selection, dresses, shoes and even perfumes. I chose the perfume myself. I didn't like the smell, but the wife said, "But you still won't." It will be yes, and the smell is only needed until the evening, and in the evening I will come back and take a shower dress. I chose one with a very revealing neckline. On the chest I didn't like all this. Wife, she playfully declared that she loved me. Celebration wants to produce impression on female colleagues who, by the way, we argued who would be better to look like. Bet on a box of expensive champagne. Looks like something like this is going to happen. Team celebrate New Year with 4 in the evening and until 11. So now it has become it's customary to celebrate, much less believe. I never had a reason to tell my wife. Didn't give them. On December the 30th I gathered my wife and came to pick her up. I saw her off by taxi. She left. I stayed with the child. When the wife was leaving with my last hope, I asked her, "Maybe not, will you go?" My wife said that I won't stay. Maybe this will have a bad effect on her work reputation. The boss doesn't like refusals, and then she won't see any promotion at work. Of course the wife earned decent money. The money is in my state institution, although he received a good salary and stable, but still not like she was when my wife left. I thought, okay, let him rest, she'll have fun and she'll unwind. Before went to an event organized the company where she and I worked. Let her go, but this time some strange feeling of emptiness inside, anxiety and anticipation of something bad thing unsettled me. At about 10 p.m. I called my wife. She picked up the phone. I asked her when she going home. Had to scream and phone. Loud music and noise fun interfered with the conversation. She said that they decided to continue the celebration and she will return 2 hours later. Through the whole this hubbub I heard that someone persistently calls my wife's name. Dance on time. Wife didn't come home when I became her to call. The phone was turned off. She arrived only the next evening, days 4 hours before the new year, was lightly kissed me passionately under the chafe on the lips. All the time while my wife was away there was nothing good. The premonition did not leave me. I did not sleep. All this time waiting for her. Every 15 minutes called her friends, acquaintances to relatives from my colleagues' phones. There was only one of her girlfriends at work, and he was unavailable. Decided if not, I'll be back in the new year. I'll go to the police, just in case. I took the child to his mom. When she came in, first thing asked her why my wife's phone was turned off, made round eyes and feigned, said in surprise, "What is he turned off?" And she wonders why I didn't tell her I'm calling. She said that she didn't turn off the phone. Apparently, he accidentally passed out by quickly taking shower. Wife immediately rushed to the kitchen. Wife immediately rushed to the kitchen. I cook almost everything. I made it. Just needed to mix it, salads, and dress them up while I was fiddling around in the kitchen. I didn't give up trying to find out from her where she disappeared. After all, I was only leaving for a few hours. But my wife, I kept saying that we'll talk later, celebrated the new year in suspense. My wife tried to cheer me up, talked about love and the child, about the future. She even climbed onto my lap and kissed me. I saw that my wife did all this. She makes it seem unnaturally. I've never behaved like this before. I understand that the wife is hiding something. After 3 glasses of champagne, the wife got drunk. I didn't drink at all. Took a sip from the wine glass. The chime struck 12 and everything was around 2 in the morning. My wife said she was very tired and was going to sleep. Early in the morning I didn't wake her up. Knew where they celebrated their holiday and I decided to go there while I was driving on purpose. Turned off the phone an hour later. I was already unluckily it was January the 1st and the cars were on. The road was not enough. I found the head of security. She turned out to be a beautiful woman, about 50 years old. Talked to her, and she said yes. Such a company celebrated New Year here, but they didn't go home because they filmed not only a restaurant but also hotel. The rooms were all paid in advance here. Only show video from cameras. Refused, stating that the information confidential. But as Philip II of Macedon said, a donkey loaded with gold will take any fortress. Found a security guard, who for a certain, he showed me the amount and sent it all to me on a flash drive. What I needed, I assured him that it was. The video will not go anywhere further than me. Yes, I saw my wife. She wasn't very drunk. I saw her walking towards the room with a man, who gently held her waist. Saw as they stopped in front of the number, kissed passionately. Saw them walk in. I saw the room in an hour and a half. The man left the room and after 10 minutes returned, but not alone, but brought with him one more. I partially saw what was going on in the room, since the camera was in the corridor, and captured only part of the number with bed, but that was enough at least. I saw everything sporadically. Enough. I saw how my wife was first with one, a man, saw him leave, and then came back bringing the second one. Saw his wife was with the one who came later, and then I saw how my wife was with both of them at once. Between sex they drank champagne, they talked about something, tenderly kissed, and then returned to there. The lesson lasted all night. The men from the wife's room are only getting closer. By 11 a.m. the next day, first one, the second one stayed late, the second one left later. Half an hour later the wife herself came out, and headed in the room rented for her colleague. She took a long time, knocked and opened it. 10 minutes later a man came out. The woman did not leave the room until the evening. Both men and women came to them, but no one came into the room talking about something on the threshold of the room. The last shots were already from mid-street. My wife and her colleague get into a taxi, drove the car back like crazy a couple of times. I almost got into an accident but didn't stop. I returned home at night. Viewing videos and downloading the episodes I need took the whole day and evening. My wife met me at first angrily, but looking at me, changed anger to care and resentment, asking with offense in the voice, where am I gone and why is mine unavailable? Phone. I said that no one called me. Took out his phone and turned it on. I told my wife that I didn't turn off the phone. Apparently he passed out on his own, and with a feign in bewilderment he said that he himself thought, why doesn't anyone call me? Here I am. For the first time I saw bewilderment on my wife's face, and tension. I saw that she was doing something. She's thinking about it. Then I asked her if she doesn't want to. Did she tell me where she was all night? To tell it like it is, honestly, my wife, she said that at the corporate party, she had too much. They left with alcohol in the evening. Immediately after the party ended, she fell asleep in taxi and a friend brought her to her home. She spent the night there. During the day she was very happy. Bad, she was very sick and she didn't. I couldn't possibly leave my colleague. I asked wife, is she telling me the truth? Wife with, she said in fear that this was the truth, that there is no point in her lying to me. Then I suggested going to this colleague and thank her, and at the same time congratulate her on New Year's Eve. My wife said she wasn't ready, that she doesn't feel well. I need to go to my colleague's place to get my makeup done, and, in general, a colleague said that on the 1st of the month she was going to go to her parents and stay there until the end of the holidays weekend. Then I directly told my wife not. She would like to watch the new one with me, erotic film with her participation in the main role here. The wife was already scared for real. She said she doesn't have desire to watch anything. Then I went. I took the laptop and downloaded all the videos from the flash drive. When I went into the bedroom again, my wife was quiet. I cried. I turned on the recording and threw the laptop in front of her on the bed. The wife began to sob and the voice began to say confusedly that she didn't. I wanted her to be raped. Then I suggested going to the police and writing statement. Of course she refused and began to talk. He's overdone it and doesn't know what it's like. It happened, that all this is not true, that she loves me and our baby, so that I don't made hasty conclusions that we have child, and he should not grow up without a father. That I am a good husband and like a man I suit her in everything, that she loves and loves me. That's why it hurt me. I was sad to look at this woman and listen to her confused excuses and assurances of sincere and unique. I was overwhelmed with love about the family, and the child real rage. I started screaming, she thought as she dragged her to her room. Another man, what was she thinking about when there were two men? Did she think at that time, a moment about the family and the child, about me finally, and that all the corporate events were held at her place? This is exactly what the sobbing wife became. Beg her to forgive her and begin all at first, that it was the only one. Once, and she will never again in her life will repeat this mistake, that she doesn't wants to lose me to the child. Raised by their own father and mother, the child must have parents. The child must grow up without a father and live in complete family, that she wants herself kill for what she did, that she didn't seize life without me and our child. Then it broke through again. I screamed again, asked a question about what, and most importantly, who is it about? I was thinking then in the room about what and who she thought when she left for this corporate party, knowing in advance that he will not return on time, knowing that everything is paid for. Why did she lie to me from the very beginning? Who the man with whom she entered the room, and who is the second one that joined them later? The wife stopped crying and sat with a detached face. She said that she understood everything, that she didn't want it, but so it turned out that she was ready to do anything just to save the family, that me and our child, very expensive, and that she doesn't see future life without me and ours baby. I silently took out my suitcase and began put my things there. My wife was sitting as if frozen, staring at one point, and was silent. Hysterics happened to her again when I went to the door. She begged not to leave, begged to stay, asked for forgiveness, tried to kiss me, grabbed my jacket so I could barely. I tore her away from me, almost tearing my jacket. I left and called my mom, and asked her to leave child at home until the end of the holiday, asked me not to answer my wife's calls, and especially not to give her the child. Under what circumstances did he say that? I'll explain everything to her later, that I need to stay alone, and in general it's better for mom with. I rented to go to relatives as a baby hotel room, ordered food and alcohol, lying in bed under TV, working, drinking, eating, and reminisced about the moments of my life. Then he fell into a drunken sleep and woke me up. During the day the phone rang. My father-in-law was interested. When will his daughter and I visit him with his mother-in-law? We will come. I replied that we cannot come, we just can't, and will still return home. I told my wife that I was filing for divorce, that I thought it over, and realized that I couldn't do it. Forgive never, that she and let is being removed from my apartment because the apartment was purchased before marriage. What about? I will take the child to court to determine place of residence with father due to mother's immoral behavior. Unfolded and went out, got into the car and left me already. No one stopped her but those two. I found colleagues, collected dossiers on them, and it turned out that they were both married and even had children, and as revenge I sent them away. Erotic movies for wives with their participation. True, how their showdown ended I don't know, but that's not enough for me anymore. Interested, I needed to start a new life. That's the story. Subscribe to channel and press the bell to don't miss new stories. Thank you for watching.